Lowco baseball and softball fans. This is Lowco Diamond Dudes. I'm Justin Jarrett, joined as always by my friend Ned Butch Mullis. And unfortunately, Wes couldn't be with us today. He's getting a little time away, hanging out with friends up in Tennessee. So wishing him well. Hopefully he's able to check out the show and stay caught up on what's happening in the Lowco baseball and softball scene, although I'm sure he is not completely unplugged. He definitely knows what happened last night. I guarantee you that much. And it was a fun night last night, Butch. I was coaching softball up in Beaufort. The Killer Whales gave it our all. We lost 12-11 to a team that beat us 10-1 on Friday night. So big turnaround for the Killer Whales. I'm a little hoarse today, so forgive me, forgive my voice. But you guys had a Donnybrook too. Went 10 with the Sharks up at Shipyard, and our guest today, Joel Klock, they had a good one too and held on and beat Bluffton 7-6. So it was a big night in the region and big night for a few Lowco teams. But how you holding up over there, buddy? Late night.
Late night, past curfew. No, it's a good ball game. Long night. I mean, should have won it 4 or 5 different times. And Tyson Steele's home in the 10th inning. And, I mean, it was a unbelievable play, and just happy he's on our team. And D1 guy doing D1 things.
Yeah, he was 3 for 5 last night, and then like you said, stole home, timed up to catch.
Let me tell you something else too. Willie Korn,
yeah,
got a little bit of a pulled groin, can't really run, but it didn't hurt him to pitch as much, so he could pitch. And he came, what he pitched 5 2/3, something like that last night with no hits.
I think it was 5 1/3. He had a bunch of strikeouts too.
Oh, he was fantastic last night.
Yeah,
he was throwing hard. I don't know if we had a gun on him. I don't know if he may have had a gun on him, but he was throwing hard last night.
I want to say it was 10 or 11 strikeouts.
Yeah, it was impressive.
Special. Yeah, he had 10 Ks, 5 walks, no hits, no runs allowed.
And those 5 walks are debatable. I'm not an umpire basher, but when you go on the road, there ain't no love up in Charleston County for low country guys. I can tell you that.
Well, and sometimes it becomes a little bit of a carnival game anyway, but for high school.
And we had a college guy, dude. I mean, he just, you're like,
well, that's what I mean. Like sometimes you get a guy who thinks he's a big time
he's better,
and he wants to call the big league zone on high school game, and you're like, man, we're gonna be here all night if you're gonna do that.
It was brutal. It was brutal.
But yeah, it was an exciting night. May River 2-1 over Lucy Beckham. Hilton Head Christian Academy blanked John Paul II 11-0. Hilton Head High beat Bluffton 7-6. Top of the order coming through for them. We'll talk about them later with Coach Joel Klock. Providence Christian came back and got Hilton Head Prep 7-6. Dolphins almost came back and won that game. Lost 7-6. Didn't allow an earned run. I bet Chris Wells is a little grayer today than he was yesterday. That's rough. But on the softball side, had some good ones too. May River, another win over Lucy Beckham 10-3. Bluffton beat Hilton Head 15-4. Colleton County beat James Island 11-7. So they split the series, and apparently there was some controversy at the end. I haven't checked out the video yet, but I'm not sure what happened. There were ejections. There was a run that was not counted that James Island wanted counted, and the umpire said it didn't count. So it was 11-7 instead of 11-8, and the run differential matters for tiebreakers. So it might be a thing. It's a thing that we're monitoring at this time. That could be interesting. I guess it got a little rowdy last night. So on the baseball side, and James Island only beat Colleton 8-6 last night.
Saw that score.
The plot thickens a little bit.
And Lucy Beckham scored 4 or 5 of them on Wednesday too.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I think what we've said continues to be true, that Region 7 4A, especially in baseball, is pretty wide open, and number 5 and number 1 aren't a whole lot different. Certainly the top 3 or 4 look very similar. And then on the softball side, I think Colleton, James Island, Bluffton, and May River are all a problem.
It's all jumbled up.
Yeah, it's a mess. So it's going to be fun to see how it all sorts out. But those are kind of the big headlines. So let's go ahead and get our friend in here from the green room before he eats up all the refreshments and everything. Get your friend and mine, Joel Klock from Hilton Head High. What's going on, buddy? Did you enjoy the refreshments in the green room?
Yeah, there's nothing left, guys. Sorry about that.
Straight from the faculty lounge.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Well, welcome, Coach, and thanks for coming on with us this morning. We appreciate it. But sorry, Wes couldn't be here. I know you and Wes have a great relationship, so we would have loved to have him here with you. He might have been able to tell us some stories or something. But talk to us a little bit about this squad you've got this year, man, because I think both of us have been impressed with what we've seen. And I got to spend a little time in your dugout the other day, and I told the guys on Twitter I love the energy in that dugout. You know, leaders are leading, young guys are buying in, and it's really a good thing. So tell us about these guys and how they've come together.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate you having me on. It's been awesome. I've been, following the first couple episodes, so it's good to get on here. But we've got a good group. We have just a really good group. And every time I talk to somebody, I'm like, we just have a good group of dudes, like of just guys.
Yeah.
These are guys we were really young last year. We only had a couple seniors that really played, and all these guys that are not playing now had played at some point. We had, a bunch of sophomores and freshmen playing last year a little bit. So I think the experience of it really helps. And guys just really took it upon themselves to just like get better and want to get better. And you see that with the guys that are playing really, really good baseball right now. And it's mentioned at like the top of the order there from yesterday. And it's been awesome to watch some of these guys. I can't say enough good things about really everybody went through 9 in the lineup, but the top of the lineup is just, last night was a game that Bluffton fought and scratched and clawed and kicked us in the mouth a little bit. And, luckily we hit. And that's what I kept saying to our guys, like, man, we just got to keep swinging it. And we did, because I think we made like 4 or 5 errors. And
4 errors. Yeah.
It was not, we didn't play the cleanest baseball game, but, stuck with it and kept playing. So like I said, we got a lot of really good dudes and some guys that are playing just really darn good baseball right now.
Well, what's great is when you can have a night where, I think your 3 and 4 hitters had kind of a down night last night, and you still scored 7 runs because also Brooks 3 for 4 with a double and scores 3 times, and Larson's 4 for 4 with a double and drives 3 in. And then guys come up at the bottom of the order. I mean, McCabe with the double, Lynn and Schwartz in the 9-hole had a great night. So, I mean, guys stepping up and carrying you when the dudes have an off night. But man, I've been so impressed with Larson. He's such a hitter.
He's Brad's like we our coaches, we kind of talk all the time. We're like, he just doesn't do anything like wrong. Like it's crazy now. Like I took the kids over to the elementary school just now, and they're working with 3rd graders, and like you just watch him there too. And I'm like, look, like this is unbelievable. But he's just an awesome kid, and he just every night has 3 hits. Like it's I mean, I think he's hitting almost 600 at this point. He doesn't get out, and it's awesome. No. He just does it, and he plays the game the right way. He gets great reads on the bases, and he just plays a really good outfield. And he just doesn't care where he plays, and he's just like he's an unbelievable guy, an unbelievable player right now. And he's a guy who just doesn't take it. I don't want to say he doesn't take it serious, because he does. He really treats it serious. You could tell what he does in the weight room and how he takes care of his body and what he's doing, nutritionally and everything around it builds into it, and it builds into his success. But he's just so calm, and
he takes the baseball seriously, but he doesn't take himself too seriously. Maybe
he's so relaxed. He's so
that
calm.
was what I took from it, how relaxed he was.
Yeah.
He is.
He didn't seem to get rattled at all.
Well, that comes from putting in the work.
Yeah.
When you put in the work, you're confident, and when you're confident, you're relaxed. I mean, for me.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at and it's not like he's doing well against everybody. It's been great to see. I mean, like when you guys came here, Ned, and you guys beat us here 3-1. Like we had 3 hits, right? Tyson was lights out. He was pretty damn good, and Brad had 2 of the 3.
Yep. Well, I was telling Justin either on the way home or this morning, I was like, I call pitches. I feel like I can call pitches.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm looking, and he gets out on his front foot and serves one out there in the left field. And I was like, all right, we'll fix that. We'll come in under his hands. Here's the 85 under your hands.
Yep.
And shit, he turns on it and hits a double down the right field line. And I was like, oh, this might be a problem.
Yeah, he's a very, very good baseball player. And he like you just said, he can hit it. He takes to all fields. And
he hits it where it's pitched. He doesn't get real. Like I said, he's a good base runner too.
He is. He does it right. He does it.
That is a long lineup.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not a lot of. I tell you what, and I seem to always I get bashed for bringing Tyson up all the time, but that pitching performance at your place now. Look at it now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You'll look back on that if y'all keep doing what you're doing. And I knew it was special that night. I didn't know how special it was, and because that guy's hard to pitch that lineup.
Yeah. And you mentioned a couple things about some guys from yesterday too. With McCabe in the double, and I want to say it was in the third. We gave up 4 in the third, in the top half of the third, and then we came back and
and you scored 4.
We tied 4. We tied it back up with 4, and it was like Bybee had a double and McCabe had a double, and there was a couple other guys that really kind of put some things together there. And it was, and I want to say it was all with 2 outs, or a lot of it was with 2 outs. And it was like, man, it was just such a cool thing to see us fight back. And
were you at your place yesterday?
We were. Yeah, we were at home. Yeah. So it was, like you said, everybody through the lineup has been doing really well. And Landon in the 9 spot is just a guy. It's like when we get to him, I'm like, this is just, again, it's that second leadoff guy. Yeah. Like he can do so much with it. He can, he had a push bunt last night for a hit, and he every time he gets on base, he is a threat to run, and he does some really good stuff. But then you look at, we got some guys that have been in the program for a long time, Jake Richardson and Ethan Russo, those guys in 3 or 4, and they're I mean, we'll talk about Jake, I'm sure, here, but man, he's doing something. And Russo, man, he's just a leader. He's been it for 3 years with our varsity. Even as a sophomore, he comes up and he's just a leader. He just takes over. And
what's the boy that pitched last night? I thought he's good. I think he threw on Monday against us.
Yeah, Blaine Gregory. He's had, when he's on, he is so on. It's like, I don't think enough people give him credit, because he can throw it. He struggled a little bit last night, and so we made a quick change. But there's some games that he had. There's like 3 or 4 games in a row that he had that it was. So to put it in perspective, the first, it was 13 innings he threw, kind of struggled with his command, and we're like, man, we're not sure what we're going to get. We look at it, and he hadn't given up a hit. We're like, all right. So
you're nibbling, buddy.
We're like,
effectively wild.
So we're like, man, you get that figured out a little bit. We're gonna be really in business here. And so he's been great. And
he can throw that breaking ball for a strike about any time he wanted to, and that is a weapon in high school.
Absolutely, yeah. He can sling that in there pretty good too. He does a nice job. He does a nice job for sure.
Well,
what's his name had a good start.
Oh, go ahead.
The third baseman.
Yes, Connor Wendell.
Yes. Wendell. Jason. Yeah.
That's a good start. He had a great outing at Bluffton the other night. He battled, man.
Yeah, we go into the week. Jake had a great game last Friday.
No-hitter.
Throws a no-hitter, right? And I'll be honest with you, I was so locked into that game, I forgot what day it was. I forgot what, pitch count just kind of lost my,
we all did. We all did.
I was like, what?
Well, nobody knew what day it was after it rained all day Monday and Tuesday.
Right.
So just shot.
And then we end up, then we're on everybody scrambling Monday.
Yes. Yep. So I'm looking at him like, he threw 95 pitches. Well, he can't now come back and throw it all against Bluffton Monday or Wednesday.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, well, let's go. And I called Blaine on Saturday, and I was like, hey, what do you think about going on Wednesday instead? And he's like, yep, that's sure, let's do it. And I called Wendell. Hey, he met me at the field like an hour later, and we threw a bullpen and got himself ready to go Monday. And you give him the ball at any time, and he's just going to go out there, and he doesn't care who you are. He doesn't care what's going on. He's just going to challenge up, and he
did that at our place last year.
Yeah.
He got you 4 or 5 innings at our place last year. And I remember you telling me after the game, he didn't throw a whole lot, but when he gets it, he's good.
Yeah. He is, man. He really just, it's like that bulldog mentality kind of thing. Like he just kind of gets on the bump and he just goes, here you go.
Football player.
Here you go. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. He goes after him. He's, He wants them to hit it, dares them to hit it, and a lot of times they don't. But
one of the
I love
reasons we
depth
like
of
all
that
our
kid.
guys to play football.
Yep.
You get that same, it's a different toughness.
It is.
Yeah.
It is for sure. Yeah.
But I love the depth on that staff. Again, like just being able to cover this week against a pretty potent Bluffton lineup and get the job done was impressive. Also, Brooke coming out of the pen with a really good outing last night too. 3 innings, no hits. So that's great to see. I love watching that young kid play. And you mentioned Ethan Russo and the leadership. I saw it in the dugout the other night. Young guy missed a couple hit and run signs, and you said, "Hey, Ethan, talk to him about it," and he went and handled it, and I loved it. Like it was that's the way it's supposed to work, And there was a bump there that had to be smoothed out, but you got through it, and everybody was on the same page at the end of it. So Ethan, well, just talk a little bit about the veteran leadership, not only Ethan but Jake and those guys, and how they've helped those younger guys come along.
So we got 4 seniors this year, and one had just moved here, just came in from California. So we got 3 guys: Jake Richardson, Ethan Russo, and Mitch Watson, and have been in here in the program, since Jake and Russo came up there in 8th grade, but Mitch is a freshman too. So these guys are just, again, they're just awesome people. But Russo just, he's that more loud, a little bit more vocal leader, that he'll talk to guys and he'll let you know how things should be done, because he does it the right way. But he also plays it really good, right? I mean, like he's he's a great hitter. He was all region last year. He's going to have another great year for us. He's continuing to do that. So he's been awesome to show him, hey, like this is how we do it. This is how it should be done. And Jake's the same way. Jake has gotten a lot more vocal the last week or so. Weird.
Couple no hitters will do that.
That's probably, he hasn't given up hitting like 17 innings or something like that. It's kind of like, okay. But I mean, I'll tell you what, like when we got ready last week, right? May River takes game 1 against us, and we talk all the time, like, well, you gotta get game 1, right? Like you gotta get game 1. It's 2-game series. Go get that one. You're in business, and if not, well, you gotta figure it out and really get it going.
You gotta be a stopper.
You got to, and so he's sitting there, and he's sitting in the dugout before the game, and I've never seen. He was just like, I thought he was gonna freaking punch me in the face.
He didn't even say hello to me. I've known Jake since he was 7.
I'm telling you,
he was locked in. I was like, oh no.
He was so locked in, and he just, he's how he performs is carries a lot of weight anyway. Like guys just kind of really follow that. When you have him to go out there and throw game 2, it's really, really good. I mean,
it's impressive.
I just think but you look at the total package. Like he's a guy who can hit for power. He can hit for average. He can run. He's one of the better guys behind the dish around here.
He locks it down behind the plate on Monday night.
He threw out 2 guys, a back pick last night and a stolen base last night, 3 guys out. And, and then you go, oh shoot. Also, you are like one of the best guys on the mound too. So I tell him all the time, like, man, I'm really glad you're on my team, cause he's really, I mean, he just does it the right way too. But now both these guys, we had
the
an
best
issue.
Teams are always self-policed as well.
Yeah.
And you could tell how Russo and those guys had a handle of it.
And early on, there was, we take a loss to Bluffton in the preseason tournament at our place, and bad 11-1. It was ugly, and things weren't great in the dugout, and so we sat those 2 guys down, and we're like, this is where it stops, and the future, the rest of the season is going to be dependent on what you guys do with this. But also you're going to set an example. So, because there was some, we're like, you guys aren't going to start the next game we play. Our home opener against Claxton, you're not going to start. And of course they weren't, super happy about that, but they took it, and they were the best teammates in the dugout for the first 3 or 4 innings. And then, we're like, all right, well, here we go. Now let's go. Let's get you guys back in it. And they've been just awesome young men. So, it helps. That helps what we're doing.
Well, we talked to our guys about, being a presence in the middle of the lineup. Mm-hmm. And, you might not, we might ask you to do a couple things different, our 3-4 guys. we might be telling these guys to do something, but every now and then, we need to double to the gap. And you've got a presence in the middle of that lineup that that resonates.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they're I like that Russo hits behind Jake because you're not going to be super careful with Jake because you got Russo right there too, and Jackson Bibby's been swinging it pretty good too as of late, and he's a big freaking dude that's long and when he puts it all together, he can swing a bat and he can do some things. So it's exciting. We're really happy with where we're at, and it's rolling. It's good. We're happy.
Now, who you got next week?
So we have a game tomorrow. Eagles Landing Christian Academy is coming to town from Atlanta. I think they're playing Beaufort tonight, us tomorrow, and then supposed to be playing Bluffton, weather permitting, on Saturday. And then next week we just have 2 games with Battery Creek, just Wednesday, Thursday. I'm gonna take it kind of a lighter game week, but we got 2 games, so Wednesday, Thursday, and then after that we got James Island. So
yeah, that's gonna be fun. That should be good. So we've talked all season about how much parity there is in this region, and obviously, I mean, Bluffton's sitting in 4th, 5th right now, right? Like 4th or 5th, and just fought you tooth and nail and split with the Sharks. And I mean, really from top to bottom, even Colleton County and Lucy Beckham gave y'all every bit in both games. So top to bottom, I mean, there's not an easy win on this region schedule, is there?
No, not at all. Yeah, I think we look at it. Last year was everything. Everybody was so good, and then you look at it again, and now I look around, I'm like, everybody's so good, and also everybody's really young, and I'm like, I'm like, this is scary for the next couple of years because, I mean, I feel like May Rivers they've got like 70% of the dudes on their team are freshmen, sophomore, and you're like,
they're kind of where you were a couple of years ago,
and you're like, well, that's not really too good to see for the future, but we'll take it, right now. We'll see folks in the now, but yeah, I mean, James Island's the standard, and that's how it's been. So all fall, that's kind of where we're working. We want to get them. Like, let's see that, because because just that's where they've been. But again, you look at the line, you look at the region, and Bluffton's scary. Bluffton's, they scare me. They really do. And this was a nervous week.
They battle.
Yeah, they do. They really do. And they're tough. And obviously May River's tough. The fact that you got so many young guys, and you go and look at it, I don't know who it is, but there was one kid, maybe 7, 6, 7, 8, somewhere in the order, and he's a young guy. I think he maybe plays third base, but
Aaron Guthrie
against Jake.
That's got to be Guthrie.
Against Jake on that game at Wednesday at your place. I mean, he was taking some hacks, and I'm like, if anybody's gonna get this guy right now, like, he's had unbelievable at bats. This kid right here, and I'm like, wait,
you should have seen the play he made last night to end it.
Yeah,
that kid's playing pretty good third base right now too.
I nicknamed him Arenado Guthrie.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, he was a guy that looked really good too, and I mean, obviously, Tyson and Will and the guys in the middle of the lineup there are really tough, and Colleton is. I think you've mentioned it before, but like, some of the dudes they throw, I'm like
Bruce Carpenter is really good. Their catcher's really good. The Davion Varner is tough. I mean,
their coach doesn't get enough credit. That is a really, really good baseball coach.
Yeah. And I think a lot of those, young guys are young too. Sophomore, that Varner's, I think, a sophomore, and I don't know.
They bring some guys in with some arm speed.
All right, I was gonna say the one guy they brought in both times against us out of the pen, threw it, was slinging it, and he had the nastiest breaking ball. Like, he was fooling guys bad, and I'm like,
well, they got the Farnsworth kid too. He's pretty good, I think.
But I mean, you just watch the guys that they bring in. I mean, you can see guys that throw hard. There's guys that throw hard, but you don't. It's very rare that you see elite arm speed, and they've got And I mean, those guys, like I said, they're young. When you've got that arm speed, you got 3/4 of the battle. You can work from there.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So they're tough too.
And Oxner is the guy that came in relief against you twice.
Okay. Yeah. He was. I mean, we were putting we were putting some good swings on it a little bit, but I'm like, man, this kid's okay. This kid's good.
They scored 6 on James Island last night.
Yeah, they did.
I saw
8-6 battle.
Everybody seems to have saw that. It doesn't it always, when you get that every now and then you see something like, oh, I see you. I see you.
Oh, yeah.
Jump out of me.
But it's, and like you said, that the region's it's tightly packed and it is. And, we took it, there's some, obviously early things that go on. And there's some preseason stuff, picks, and we don't put a whole lot of weight into it. But one of the kids brought up to me the one day, he's like, hey, do you see this? They did a preseason pick for the region. And, we were picked 5th out of 6, and I was like, hey, you know what we're gonna do? And we taped it up. It's still in the dugout. We're like, we're gonna keep that right there, because like that's something but the thing is, like, our guys don't care. Like it's like, I think I get more upset about it, and they're like, coach, like, who cares?
I saw that and I was like, if this is true,
again, that's where we ended up last year. We struggled. We really did. But this is, this year's guys are really kind of putting it together. So, but it's something we got up on the wall to keep an eye on too.
You don't get too many opportunities for true bulletin board material in high school coaching, so you got to take advantage of that.
Right,
I don't know. We're on this podcast now, so we got to be careful.
Yeah, but
we might be giving some more out.
Well, I'm sure I've come to peace with the fact that I'm sure that people use my words as motivation from time to time, and sometimes I choose them with that in mind. I mean, I want to try to motivate people to be their best, to do this. That's part of it. We shine a light on the success, and that's motivation.
Fire drill or third period?
Yeah, heading into the third period. Yeah, but I got somebody cover my class, so we're all good.
Okay, good.
This is more important, right?
Absolutely.
Well, Jakey's going to Lancaster, right? What are the next level prospects for some of the other guys?
You kind of mentioned, brought up his name, but there's a guy, Slater Alsobrook is just a dude. He's really, going into his freshman year, we hit over the summer a little bit, and I'm like, all right, well, he's athletic. We had his older brother for a little while in the program, and I wasn't really quite sure. And then last year he just was playing really well. Again, we didn't have a JV team. We didn't have enough guys for it, but but he was playing, and late in the year we started giving him some innings because he just demanded it. Like, he was just doing so well at practice, and times we gave him. So we started to start a little bit at the end of the year, and did well. And I mean, he's a kid who he wants it. He really does. And he's batting at the top of the lineup. Plays a really good center field. He comes in out of the pen and throws the ball well, and just throws strikes and challenges guys up. Athletic. So he's a guy I would see playing at the next level for sure. Again, as a sophomore, and he works, man. He's a shorter guy, but he is so strong. It's unbelievable. Like, you get in the weight room, you're like, okay, that dude's big and strong. He's good. Again, Brad, he can play at the next level, I think, somewhere. And he just, it's funny. We talked.
What year is he?
Brad's a junior. We talked a couple weeks ago, and I was like, hey, like, you want to play college baseball? Making sure, right? And he's like, yeah, I do. I was like, all right, well, let's continue to do what you do. And he's a guy who definitely can do that, because at this point he's handling
the big summer for him. He'll need to, and he's hitting it running.
Yeah, exactly. And he went and played summer ball this past year, which really helped him, because he I don't think he had really much in the past, but last summer he had a really good summer. I remember him coming back to school, and he's like, Coach, I had a really good summer. I'm like, all right, cool. We're excited to get you going. And we were able to get on the field in the fall in October for that month, and we see it there. And we're like, dang, okay, like, he's hitting everything hard. And then it's like the week before, or it's like the couple days before basketball season starts, and he goes, Coach, I'm going to play basketball this year. And I'm like, what? Oh, really?
Are you killing me?
And I was like, I'm like, all right, well, he's like, well, I don't even know if I'm going to make it. Like, we'll see. And after like day one of the tryouts, I talked to one of the other basketball kids in my class, and I was like, how's Brad doing out there? Is he going to make it? They go, he's playing great. I'm like,
awesome.
He is,
Awesome. Of course he is.
Of course he is. That's Brad, right? But then he came back, and it's like, as soon as he got back on the baseball field, it just was, he hadn't missed any time, and he just jumped right in. So, but But those are two guys I think they're pretty solid, that are doing some good things. And there's some others that I'm sure, if they continue to develop, that we could see something happen. But those are two guys that jump out at me right away.
Anybody sniffing around Russo?
Russo's, he's a different guy because he's a pilot. He's a pilot. He loves to fly. He wants to go to school, to do that. So there's a couple specific schools that he wants to go to in Florida.
Emory
Riddle.
Emory.
I'll put in a good word. I'm good friends with the SIDs and AD down there.
Yeah. Well, so we looked at that for a little while. But he's going to be going to Jacksonville. He's going to go to JU and see if get a chance to walk on and see what he can do there. And again, we had a conversation the other day, and he's like, I just want to enjoy playing baseball, and if I get an opportunity, then that's great.
Amen.
That doesn't surprise me because he's kind of a throwback. I just kept thinking that watching him play. Yeah. He just looked like he was having fun.
Yeah, he's having a blast.
There's sometimes when he's in the box and he steps out and he looks down at me, and he'll take like a breaking ball and he'll turn to me and be like, he'll motion breaking ball, or he'll be like, "Ooh, just missed it." And I'm like,
"Yeah."
I'm like,
I saw missed it by this much the other night.
He does it all the time. I'm like, dude, just go hit, man. Like,
just go hit.
He's such a good kid too.
See ball, hit ball.
Yeah, he cracks me up. But that's great for him. I mean, we preach it all the time, but it's not about the level or anything like that, and it's about matching up your priorities with the opportunity. And if your priority is to go become a pilot, then and you can walk on and be on the baseball team at the place where you can become a pilot, then you win, buddy. Like that's a big win. So take advantage of the opportunity and the door that baseball opened for you, and take advantage of that. So that's fantastic stuff, man. Again, I love the energy in your dugout. I love. And obviously, you set the tone early when you said, "Look, it can't be like this." And you guys, it's your dugout, take it over, and they rose to the challenge. So, Mullis and I were talking last night about the instant gratification of coaching when something clicks or somebody steps up and does what you needed them to do. And this has to be a pretty gratifying season so far for you.
Yeah, it has been. It's been good, and I get frustrated, and I'm sure you probably saw it in the dugout the other night, and I definitely was last night. And I just, when we do the things that we were supposed to do and that we've worked on, that we know we can control, and we do them well, we're going to be a tough team to beat. And there's just some lapses a little bit in some mentality and some approach and some thoughts and things like that, and that's where I kind of get a little irritated. But when we finally get it all together, I'm like, this is how it should be done. And guys recognize it as well. But it happens too. There's going to be times that maybe I don't have a great game. I'm not playing real great, but mentally I should still be able to go compete. I think that's where we've been. We made a quick little change just in the middle infield last night, and not for really any other change, but Landon Schwartz plays a really darn good shortstop, but because of some arm issues beginning of the year, also is a really good dude on the mound. And when he came back to us, I'm like, can't wait. And he's like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pitch. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. But then he's been playing second, and then last night we shifted him over to play short, and he took over the game in the last 3 innings. And, to end the game, he went in the hole and fielded it, put his foot in the ground, threw a dart over to first base. And I'm like, that's just a big time play there. Yeah. So yeah, it's really cool to see it all come together. And again, it's these guys running it. It's these guys doing it all. And we're just I just write the lineup and stand there and watch it. So it's pretty cool.
That's the dream.
Yeah. That's
more fun.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, Joel. We appreciate it. And, great job thus far, and best of luck down the road. Looking forward to that matchup with James Island, and hopefully you guys can keep it rolling and take it deep this season.
Yeah. We're taking one game at a time. We'll see what we can do. But thank you guys for having me on. Appreciate it.
I got one more thing that I wanted to ask you. As a member of the Hilton Head chapter of the Bills Mafia, have you guys been doing any recruiting to try to get a certain free agent defensive lineman, to Buffalo?
I've been asking around here because there's some people in this building that know him well, and I've been asking around, so
putting a bug in BJ Payne's ear.
Yeah, exactly. We're asking around. I mean, we got a good group. I think 3 of the 4 coaches on my staff are all from Western York, big Bills fans. We try and watch as much as we possibly can. And yeah, that'd be awesome. We keep on talking about it. Man, that'd be really
You need to catch up with the Dyers.
Yeah. Okay. The Dyers.
And then you got old Mary Beth Lyons. She's
oh my goodness. Yeah.
She's hardcore. She might be the president of the Bills Mafia.
Yeah. Oh, she's intense. And yeah, during the season, it's, if my phone's ringing on a Sunday, I'm sure I could bet money that was her. So yeah, but it's awesome.
All right, man. Well, thanks a lot. We'll let you get out of here before you miss another class period, and keep it rolling.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Good luck, Joel.
Thank you.
All right.
See you guys.
We'll take a quick break to hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back here on the Lowco Diamond Dudes. Hey, Lowco sports fans. This podcast and all of our grassroots local sports content are made possible by support from community sponsors, including Mickelson Law Firm, the official real estate attorneys of Lowco Sports, and the presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. Our original sponsors are still among our greatest supporters. Ryan and Tiffany Mickelson are community pillars who will be in your corner no matter your legal needs. When you need legal representation, call on the attorneys who support Team Lowco. Call Mickelson Law Firm. Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, the official hospice provider of Lowco Sports, and the only not-for-profit hospice in southern Beaufort County. For more than 30 years, the committed, compassionate staff at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry have been there to ensure your loved ones find comfort, honor, and dignity at the end of life. Because at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, it's not about dying, it's about living. Homegrown Home Inspections, the official home inspectors of Lowco Sports. Jan Lucas and his team provide thorough, detailed home inspections aimed to ensure everyone goes into the transaction with open eyes and confidence. Jan would rather reveal an inconvenient truth than look the other way and provide reassurances that could come back to burn the buyer in the long run. If you're looking to buy or sell a home and need an honest, reliable inspector, call on Homegrown Home Inspections, official sponsors of Lowco Sports. DDS Web Design, official SEO experts of Lowco Sports. If your business or organization has a website and you're trying to figure out what SEO is, you need to call on Denise and Dave Sinkovich at DDS Web Design. They'll provide a free consultation and do all the behind-the-scenes work to boost your search engine optimization and get your website found online so you can take your business to the next level. DDS Web Design, official SEO experts of Lowco Sports. American Wood Reface, sustaining sponsors of Lowco Sports. Does your kitchen need a facelift? Before you start picking out new cabinets, give Ben and the team at American Wood Reface a shot. They can reface your existing cabinets to overhaul your aesthetic without the hefty price tag and reimagine your kitchen at a price point you can manage. Be sure to tell them Lowco sent you, because every referral helps support Lowco Sports. 4M Metals, sustaining sponsor of Lowco Sports. Got metal? Your roof might need it. Metal roofing advantages include better energy efficiency, weather protection, longevity, a more aesthetically pleasing design, and the product is all green. So if you've been thinking about a new roof, go metal. Let 4M Metals be the difference in your roof. Jay's Barbershop. It's the talk of the town and the place to be in Ridgeland. If you need your ears lowered, head over to Jay's for a fresh cut and great conversation with good folks. And tell them Lowco sent you. Local Pie, official pizza sponsor of Lowco Sports. They sling some of the best pies in the Lowco, and my kids say the mac and cheese is the best around. Hungry? Hit up Local Pie, longtime supporter of Lowco Sports. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry, the official floor cleaners of LowcoSports.com. If your feet tell you your floors need cleaning, call on Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. They provide residential and commercial services, including cleaning carpet and area rugs, tile and grout, upholstery, curtains and drapes, mattresses, and more. But most importantly, they'll get those floors so clean, your feet will thank them. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. Hilton Head Prep is a sustaining sponsor of Lowco Sports, and we tell you all about the Dolphins' athletic exploits. But did you know it's also the #1 ranked private K-12 school in Beaufort County and ranks in the top 2.5% of schools nationwide? Visit hhprep.org to see what Hilton Head Prep has to offer. Beaufort Academy is a sustaining sponsor of Lowco Sports, and we love covering the Eagles. With a student-to-faculty ratio of 7-1 and an average class size of 14 students, Beaufort Academy could be just the educational solution you're looking for, with more one-on-one attention. BA has a strong history of working with the whole child to prepare each student for college and life. Check them out at BeaufortAcademy.org. Thank you to all of our sustaining and supporting sponsors for their support of LowcoSports.com. go Lowco. All right, welcome back to the Lowco Diamond Dudes. Justin Jarrett and Butch Mullis, Ned Mullis. I can't call you Ned, man. It just doesn't feel right. You're Butch to everybody I know, so it always trips me up when somebody says Ned. But we'll just call you Mullis, I guess. But great talk with Klock. You said we got to get Klock on here, and you were absolutely right. That was great. They've all been great. I mean, we got some really good coaches around here. Who understand the game and understand how to work with kids. And
well, that's the thing. That's the key
job.
right there.
Yeah.
I kind of grade it out as would I want my kid to play for that guy?
Yeah.
I would have zero problem with my kid playing for Joel.
Yeah.
Zero.
Agreed. And he's doing a phenomenal job. Fortunate to have him for sure. And they've had a long line of really good coaches over there at Hilton Head High.
Oh, yeah.
Going way back.
It's well, you had Wells, then you had Susie, and then what's the guy that went up in the upstate? He's winning up.
Blair Carson.
He's winning up. He's doing a great job. And then
he was a good coach too. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've had a long line, but well, let's talk a little bit more about some other teams because we've talked a lot of Seahawks with Coach Klock, and obviously we've talked some Sharks, but some other teams out there. Buford had another murderer's row week. Monahan is just taking the beatings right now.
I talked to Shane this morning. I said, "Who you got next week? The Yankees and the Red Sox?"
It's been wild, but man, they played their butts off.
And they compete. They compete, and they, like I said, I mean, it's going to calm down.
Yep.
And they're gonna, they're gonna start getting some guys that aren't Somerville.
Yeah.
That aren't. Fort D, Savannah Christian, the whole 9 yards. And, they're going to start punching to some people, they're going to.
Yeah, punching against their own weight class.
Yeah, when they get in the playoffs and they get throwing punches, people aren't going to start, they're not going to get back up. And,
yeah, you're right. And you've seen development there too. I mean, you've seen guys that were kind of on the fringes like Dom Camacho starting to swing a really good bat and moving up in the lineup. And, Bauer Sox is just a ball player. He's going to give you, everything he's got every night. And another long lineup, another top to bottom lineup that's really tough. So, in fact, let's talk about some of the toughest outs in the Lowco, and we'll mix some softball in here too. But, I think probably at the top of the list, you got to start with Brad Larson and Tyson Brasington.
Yeah, those guys, Lawson can hurt, Lawson, like I said, that guy uses the whole field. And, and Tyson is about as close to a 5-tool guy. He's not got the power yet.
Yeah.
But he can hit for power.
Yeah. Well, we lost Mullis.
When he wants to, he can hit for power, but he's got tools. Yeah. And that guy's fast. I mean, you do not have. I got to get a time on him down the line.
Yeah.
But he's as fast as anybody I've ever coached. Anybody I've seen down the line. Tyson doesn't just. He's not just fast. He plays fast.
Yeah.
Like Willie Corn's not just fast. They play fast.
Yeah.
And those guys. And Tyson will get. He'll. He just knows the moment. He understands the moment. That Larson guy, Lawson or whatever.
Larson.
Yeesh. Where do you pitch that guy? What's that guy hitting? 600?
He was
got to be close to 600.
He was 6 for 8 in the Bluffton series.
You go 6 for 8.
Against some good pitching.
They're not bad. Those guys aren't bad.
And Cody Bratt, those guys can pitch a little bit. So
jeez.
And it's not just a singles guy either. He'll rope it in the gap.
No, he will turn on one. And that is a tough out.
Well, he roped one to the opposite field gap to left center last night. That was a laser beam. He drilled it. So
now, I hadn't seen him this year, but I know the Brecher kid.
Yeah, he was next on my list. Logan Brecher.
He's always been a really, really tough out.
Yeah, he'll grind out at bats and
grind out at bats.
I had him on my list. I think Cody Bratt's on that list.
Oh, yeah, that guy. I think I've still got a little PTSD from him.
Trying to find a hole.
Yeah. I mean, now you talk about a menace on the bases.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy, you can do everything right and not get him.
Yeah, well, and that makes it all the more important to try to get him out. So it makes it even more frustrating when you can't, when he works a walk and you threw him 8 good pitches, you know.
And that guy, he grinds them out. He gives you Division I at bats.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he grinds them at bats out. I mean, he's got a couple holes, but man, he's a strong guy. And I mean, when he tightens a couple things up, he's not. You know, I tell our guys all the time. Well, everybody wants to be a college baseball player. Let's go play at the next level.
Yeah.
You know, let's don't shoot your sights for being a college baseball player. Hell, let's walk in there and play.
Yeah.
You know, I think Tyson's going to walk into that place and play.
Yeah.
You know,
and by the time he gets there, Butcher might be playing.
Well, because of the speed, man.
Yeah.
You know, these guys, they run, and let me tell you, running never gets old. I mean, you know, they
well,
can't.
I think that's the biggest difference every time you take a step up is the speed of the game.
Well, and I'll tell you something else too. By the time Tyson and all these guys get to college baseball, that shift rule will be in effect in college baseball as well.
Yeah.
Don't think it's not coming.
Yeah.
You know, it trickles down.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And it needs to. I mean, it needs to kind of mirror, because I mean, you're at the end of the day, you're preparing guys to play at the next level. So
that's exactly right. Well, then you know, the pitch clock kind of went from college to the pros.
Right. So yeah, it went the opposite way, and that has been phenomenal. By the way, I'm so jazzed about the pitch clock and the stolen bases. Both they've been tremendous. This new brand of baseball. It's somewhere between, you know, old baseball and Savannah Bananas, and it's right in the sweet spot for me. So it's good stuff.
As much as Manfred gets beat up, he does some good stuff too.
You got this one right for sure. How about some softball tough outs? And actually, Pace Gartner was the other one from the prep I was going to throw in there. That guy's a menace as well. He's brutal. But on the softball side, Casey Lang and Katie Ryan lead my list. Both of them, I mean, Lang will just punish you if you make a mistake, but she's tough as nails too. But Katie Ryan, I don't think I've seen her make an out yet this year, and I think I've seen her hit about 4 or 5 triples. So
I hadn't seen her hit. I hadn't seen them play a whole lot. I do know I saw Red working opposite field the other day in the cage a lot, staying behind the ball and everything. And then it was in between our games, in between innings the other day, and I was able to I leave early so I don't have to jog over to first base. So in between innings, and I got a chance to watch one of her bats, and man, she took it right into that screen opposite field, and it's so nice. It's so cool to watch something that you know a kid's working on.
Yeah.
You know, and just, you know, she got a pitching inside out of that thing, and it was just a rocket over that. I think it was a grand slam. I didn't know it was a grand slam when she hit it, but she's a good hitter. And, you know, that girl from Bluffton, you see the numbers. I mean, she puts up like that Brad guy's numbers. I mean, they're 3 for 4, you know.
Yeah, every night.
He doesn't make out.
4 for 4, double and a triple and a homer. It's nuts. And she's a great kid too. I mentioned it on the main show the other day, but she and Brooks Van Esselston were the prom power couple.
I saw that. Senator.
She called them my 2 favorite redheads, but you know Casey Lang's right up there too. So
that's Senator and Mrs. Supreme Court Justice. That's
2 geniuses who are also just stellar athletes and stellar people. So great reps for the Lowco there.
Oh, let me give Maxie a shout out. How about Maxie going down and his little brother? Shut down Benedictine for a while.
Yeah, I saw that 2 or 3 innings. Right?
How about that? 4.
Great kid there too, Max.
Yeah, good start out of Maxie. Got another young kid going today. So
who's going today?
Hollywood.
Hollywood. Who's?
Nah,
Let me tell you.
we're
let
not
me
going to
guess, you
give him
don't
a
know
lot
his
of
name.
runs till he's going to prove it. We'll see what he's got today.
Hollywood. Let's see. A couple more softball tough outs. Kylie Rast has obviously been a very tough out for Beaufort, and she gets a lot of outs. And then I wanted to shout out Parker Ray from Bluffton because she's injured and will be out for the season. Broke her hand against May River, but or a couple bones in her hand. But she's headed to Embry-Riddle, and she was a really tough out as a slapper. Now Ava Rogers is kind of assuming her role of being that 2-hole slapper, and I like her too. But Parker, man, she's I'm now enamored with the slapper because I'm trying to figure out which of the girls on my softball team I can teach how to do it. So
well, I can tell you this: Gleason teaches it about as good as anybody I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, Michaela Landry's doing a real good job with it for May River too. So I got to give her
that guy. He is. He's kind of, he knows that game.
Well, I'm into it. Finley. I think she could be
His
one.
daughter was about as good at it as you.
Oh, yeah. Kylie was phenomenal. Incredible slapper. But I love the slapper game. That's fun stuff. Anything else? Any other banter from Mr. Mullis?
We're branching out. I just got a text. We're being listened to in Hawaii. Stark said aloha.
Aloha from Wesley Starks. All right.
Pearl Harbor.
Good to hear from you, buddy.
But good to hear from Starks. He's missing. He's like a little brother that went away, but miss him. And you talk about a good baseball coach. That's a good baseball coach. Google Gary Ward sometime, folks. That was Starks' hitting coach in college.
Oh, well, you can still find all kinds of Gary Ward instructional videos where he's like in the studio in his baseball uniform telling you how to do things.
I remember being in practice, like the first day Starks came to practice, and we didn't know a whole lot about him. Rodney kind of tripped over him with the football staff, and he was like, I can coach baseball too. And he comes out, and man, he's throwing just some of the best batting practice you've ever seen. And then he's over in the cage, and he's talking about, it's different level stuff. And I was like, where did you play? And he was like, I played in New Mexico State. And I was like, what? And he goes, and then we went out a little time, a little bit later, and he was like, yeah, my hitting coach was Gary Ward. I was like, really? So, yeah. He's listening in.
Very good, very good. So we're on the map in Hawaii, the Lowco Diamond Dudes. We can't say we're hyper local, I guess.
We probably got one listener out there, but we'll take
it. I don't know. I know a couple folks out there. We might have a couple others. I can get my old former Island Packet sports colleague Kathleen Clore on here, I bet, and listening to us. But so let's see. Anything else big stand out at you over the past week? Or are we ready to go to Players of the Week?
Players of the Week.
Let's do it. Who you got for your teams and Players of the Week?
I don't know. I think that 6 for 8's hard to beat, isn't it?
Yeah. I was figuring you'd steal him from me.
Well, that should be unanimous almost,
Yeah.
You go up against your crosstown rival and go 6 for 8.
Yeah. And he got the save last night too with a perfect 7th. So
I'll tell you, my player of the week is Willie Korn.
Oh yeah.
Because I have been around a lot of baseball games, and that's about as gutty a performance as I've ever seen.
Yeah, couldn't even hit and run, but he went out and gutted out.
Didn't hurt him pitching.
No hit.
It didn't hurt him as bad. He said it was it hurt, but not. We'd never put him out there where he could hurt himself worse.
Right. Yeah.
But he was like, no, I think I can do this, and it was just growing pulls are weird, man. You can they're. But he was gritty. Golly. And Landon came in and pitched great last night too. Landon, I don't know how many innings he ended up going. He went
the rest of the way. He went 4
2/3, or whatever. He
4 2/3 scoreless, right? Or one run ball.
He was good last night too.
Yeah, really good, really good. We mentioned Connor Wendell. He was outstanding.
How about that start?
That was really good. He went.
How about that? Get a call
4 hits
on Friday, get a bullpen on Saturday, and hey, you're going Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, that's big time, man. That's big time. Shoot, who else we got a shout out in here? I had somebody I was looking at Slater also broke too, man. So on Friday night against y'all, he goes 3 for 5 with 3 doubles and 2 RBIs. Larson was 2 for 2 with the double and a triple, and 2 walks and an RBI, by the way. And not to give you PTSD.
I've had enough.
And then also Brooke comes back this week, and he was 1 for 4, scored twice and an RBI in the first game against Bluffton. And then he comes in and goes, had a huge night last night. Went 3 for 3 or 3 for 4 with a double, 3 runs scored, RBI, went 3 in relief, no hits, 2 unearned runs, 2 walks, and got the W in relief. So that's a lot of Seahawks shout outs, but man, they've had a really good run here and been really impressive.
Well, things are really lining up. I was picking on Joel. Things are really lining up for them. I mean, we've had a lot of good luck over the years with May River, and we show up to play last Friday, and you got that team rolling in there, and the wind is blowing 35 miles an hour out, steady.
Yeah.
And I look at clock, and I was like, well, it calms down about 5:30. Hell, it picked up about 5:30. And I was like, oh, boy, this is going to be this. We better hold on tight here, boys.
Oh, boy. And then on the softball side, I got to give a shout out to Katie Ryan. Obviously, she had another big week, and she's got to carry them a little bit right now. She's batting leadoff because Parker's out. But Ryan in the first game against Hilton Head, 2 for 2, triple homer, 3 runs, 4 RBIs. In the second game, 3 for 4, triple, 4 runs scored. So that's enough to carry you most of the time. And the pitching was solid. Alyssa Rose didn't allow an earned run last night and shut them out on Monday.
Well, May River swept this week too, right?
May River did. Olivia Nagel.
Who's the pitcher?
Olivia Nagel's the 8th grade pitcher. She pitched both games, gave up 2 runs, 1 earned against Lucy Beckham on Monday, and she gave up 3 runs, 2 earned last night.
I saw her throw a pin the other day and saw how hard she's working. So yeah. I'll give her my player of the week.
Yeah, she's been very good, and she's going to be really good. Like
I didn't know she was an 8th grader. I thought,
yeah,
she throws it pretty good.
Yeah, she's going to be good. Michaela Landry, I mentioned her earlier for May River, but I want to give her some more love. 3 for 4, 2 runs and an RBI out of the leadoff spot in game 1, 2 for 4 with an RBI in game 2. So very good stuff there. And Colleton County, my girl Bailey Cox, they lost to James Island game 1. She comes back. She's not really a pitcher, but she's pitching for them, and she battles. And she struggled with her command a little bit this season. I think the walks bit her the other night. So what I was impressed with is she came back last night, no walks. I think she walked 6 on Monday. She didn't walk anybody last night. Want them to hit it, let your defense work, and see if you can outslug them. And that's what they did, 11-7. So right back in that race, tied with James Island. Going to be interesting over there.
It sounds like they're jumbled up just like us.
They really are. I mean, I think James Island, May River, Colleton, Bluffton are all about the same. So it's going to be interesting to see who can knock who off and who can pull off those sweeps, which is what Hilton Head's baseball's been able to do is get the sweeps. They swept Colleton and they swept Bluffton, and neither one of those are sure things. So when you can get that, you can keep pace. So I think that's a good number of shout outs for the week. I think we can rest easy with that. We're right inside an hour. So I think we can call it a day, man. I do got to give you props for you're doing the work on the studio there over.
You like that?
Yeah.
Nice up the chair. Chairs painted. Got the ferns up. We're masters ready over here.
There we go. Yeah, you got the Masters green on the chair. So who you got? Who's winning the Masters?
The weather coming in. I just keep going back to this. I was talking to Powell about this last night. Roy McIlroy is the best mutter on the planet. And he's already the best driver of the ball. And I watched him at Kiel just dismantle the ocean course when it was wet.
Yeah.
And I think they're calling for 1.5 inches Saturday, another 1/2 inch Sunday. That's going to be a wet golf course.
Sloppy
and
track.
If you better, and that is a big ballpark with not a lot of runs. So I'll take the dude that can carry it 320.
It's a pretty good pick. I like Spieth to hang around too. I think you were talking early in the week about the conditions being, such that you're going to have a good short game.
Well,
so.
That's always, but they do some weird things at Augusta now. The approaches aren't cut quite as tight as they used to be, and they try to bring chipping back in, so you can't just bang it down there and putt it.
Mm-hmm.
And
they do not want you to putt it from off the green.
Yeah, that brings Schefter. Schefter and Spieth are going to be around.
Yeah.
And, if you go to Augusta and you hit 12, 13 greens in a round, you've had a good day.
Oh, heck yeah.
And, so that's going to be a lot of chipping and putting. So you can't ever count those guys out. But down there where Rory hits it, it's kind of hard to miss greens.
Well, we'll talk more Masters tomorrow because you're going to sit in for Wes on the Lowco Sports Lowdown Live. So we'll definitely talk Masters and Heritage on there. So if you baseball folks want to follow us over there tomorrow, what time's good tomorrow, Mullis?
Whatever's good for you. Let me know.
Right.
I mean, I kind of plan around it.
Yeah, well, we got a batting lesson tomorrow too, so we'll get it figured out. I'm thinking afternoon tomorrow.
We're going to have to figure it out. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 11-ish.
All right, tomorrow afternoon maybe we'll.
That'll work too. Yeah, let me know.
So keep an eye out on social media, and we'll get it out there to you. And if you subscribe on YouTube, you'll get a notification when we're going live with the Lowco Sports Lowdown. We'll try to get great guests lined up as well, and we'll have fun letting you know what's going on with the Lowco sports scene. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Lowco Diamond Dudes. Thanks so much to Joel Klock for sitting with us and doing the great job he's doing over there at Hilton Head High, coaching those guys up. And thanks so much to our sponsors who make it all possible. But most of all, thanks to you for tuning in. It was fun, and I enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time on the Lowco Diamond Dudes. Until next time, go Lowco.